Week 4 of college football, and we're here to preview the Big 12 games this week. We have an exciting slate starting early this week with a Friday night game. Cincinnati at BYU. BYU hosting their first Big 12 game in history. I'm sure it is going to be absolutely insane in Provo for that one, and it's a pretty good matchup. Two of the newcomers. Cincinnati has looked pretty good at times. They stuck with Oklahoma for a lot of the game last week at home, made a lot of mistakes, and ultimately fell to the Sooners. But BYU is favored by 2.5. This one, Jarrett, what do you think?
I like BYU in this one, John. It's odd to me. I think that's going to be another one of those environments. Cincinnati going on the road, multiple time zones. I like BYU to come out in this one by like a touchdown or more.
Totally agree. I think BYU is going to cover. Cincinnati's going to have, they're going to be kicking off at 10 o'clock Eastern, beyond after 10 o'clock Eastern time on so their body clocks are going to have to adjust to that. They're going to be at altitude. And so I would be really surprised if Cincinnati's able to keep it within 2.5. That's a shocking line to me, actually. We'll see what happens, but I agree with you. We're both taking BYU. KU at Texas, big game, 3:30 ABC, the ranked matchup in the Big 12. KU at 24, Texas at 3. Huge line, 17 points. The Longhorns are favored. What are your thoughts on that one?
I'm like, did the books forget that Jalen Daniels is the quarterback for the Jayhawks?
Big 12 preseason player of the year. Big 12 preseason player of the year. Come on.
They've got some defensive sack leaders too for the Jayhawks. I mean, I think 17 Texas, man. I don't know. Are they back? Are they not? This is a ranked matchup, but Kansas, I'll take the points all day on this one. Think if you get an early touchdown or two. Now all of a sudden, I mean, 17's a lot going to Austin, so I'll take the Jayhawks all day.
Agree. I'm hoping for a good game in this one. I think Kansas will be able to keep it close. I'd be a little surprised if they were able to pull off the upset. They've done it before against a much worse Texas team a couple of years ago. We'll see what happens, but I definitely think that they'll cover in this one in Austin. Next game on my list, Houston at Texas Tech. Texas Tech coming off the loss to the Mountaineers. They're a 10-point favorite at home against a reeling Houston team, 3:30 Eastern in Lubbock.
Reeling Houston, and I like Texas Tech in this one, even though it's 10. I just think last week losing their quarterback, that's a tough thing to kind of go through and maintain as an offense, and they didn't really find their way until the second half, and you could see them slowly start to come around, and I think they kind of keep a little bit of that momentum going. And, I like them by more than 10 against Houston and Lubbock.
Agree. We're 3 for 3 on the same side. And so far in week 4, Jared, I think Texas Tech rebounds and covers the 10-point spread. Baylor at UCF. UCF, talking about real teams that are reeling. Baylor struggling so far this season. UCF 11.5-point home favorite. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that one? That one kicks off 3:30 Eastern time from the bounce house.
Yeah. UCF, the bounce house, I think they're going to be bouncing. Give me UCF over Baylor in Orlando.
First disagreement of the night. I think UCF coming off of a really charged game. They hung in. It was a closer game than the score ultimately showed against Kansas State in Manhattan last week. I think UCF is going to win the game, but I think Baylor is finally going to get things together and keep it closer. I'd say maybe 10 points, maybe a little bit closer than that in Orlando. So I think Baylor covers that one. The penultimate game of the weekend in the Big 12, Iowa State at the Sooners. Sooners a 20-point home favorite. Iowa State, again, breaking in quarterback Rocco Beck as a starter this season, have been up and down. They did beat Oklahoma State last week. What are your thoughts, Jared?
Dylan Gabriel has been hot. He has been the best quarterback in the Big 12. I mean, he has been unbelievable to start the season. Completion percentage through the roof. So I like the Sooners, and I like them big in this matchup. So 20, still big line, but I've got the Sooners.
Same here. I think Sooners roll and they beat the Cyclones by more than 20. Last game, the one we're most interested in, the Mountaineers in Fort Worth against TCU. This line has done something I have not seen a West Virginia football line do in a long time. Started out close to 8, I think. Some books had it at 7.5, and it's gone all the way to 14. And that's against the backdrop of the hints coming out of the Mountaineer program that it looks like Garrett Green is going to be able to play. And so I'm really shocked by this line. Now, would it totally, blow my mind if West Virginia goes down there and lays an egg? No. But I would think that based on the way West Virginia's been playing, TCU is not fully clicking right now. I know they're a team that went to the national championship game last year, but I think West Virginia ends up covering in this one.
Yeah, I like the Mountaineers as well, John. And so I'll keep it within 2 touchdowns, Mountaineers. So when you take a look at last week, John, can I catch you? Last week you were 6-1-1 against the spread in Big 12 games, and I was 4-3-1. So it's going to be interesting to watch all these matchups on Friday night and Saturday.